So I bought a verbatim 256 gigabyte UHS-1 microSD card for $9. So I paid $9 and I got this. First, I got a little micro SD USB adapter. And it actually works well because I used this to transfer 250 gigabytes of information onto this SD card over here. And here we have a micro SD adapter, and I've actually used this to put into the camera that we're using right now, and it does work. And finally, this is the verbatim SD card. So here, as you can see, it says verbatim, and it's a micro SD XC UHS-1 Class 10 256 gigabyte SD card. Now, is this real or fake? I'm sure you guys can guess, but let's put this thing through its paces. So this thing says it's class 10, but after some testing, it's pretty obviously not class 10. Speed-wise, it's between a class 4 and a class 6, between 3 to 6 megabytes a second of copy. So I really recommend that if you do want to take a risk and buy a cheap micro SD card, these are the tests you need to do. First, you need to do a fake flash test. And what you do is you actually install software, this one over here, and I do have the link to that down below. And what you're going to do is you're going to install it, and you're going to run the test on the SD card. Make sure you have nothing on the SD card that is important to you, and you run it, and it will tell you how many gigabytes are good and how many gigabytes are bad, and that is a good indication of how big it is. And if you want to do further testing, I highly recommend you find, 256 gigabytes of stuff to copy onto, or, just duplicate a couple of folders and copy it on and see what happens. So what I did was I actually copied over my entire review folder of videos, and then I played back as many as I could, and I can only play back like 3, which is about right for a 4 gigabyte card. Yes, this is a 4 gigabyte micro SD card that was faked to be 256 gigabytes. So I'm obviously going to try and get my money back, because even $9 is not even worth it for that. So how this thing fakes being a 256 gigabyte SD card instead of a 4 gigabyte one is it actually fakes and tells Windows that this is a 256 gigabyte card. And what it does is if you copy, let's say, 4 gigabytes of stuff, it'll copy fine. But if you copy an extra 4 gigabytes, it'll actually rewrite what you copied before. So you can actually copy like 8 terabytes of stuff onto this SD card, and it will keep on copying. It won't stop, but it will keep on rewriting what you have in the card. And most likely you won't even realize that it's being rewritten unless you do a test like this. So do be very, very careful. Pretty much don't buy this unless you want to take a risk and see if it's right. So yeah, stay away from cheap SD and micro SD cards, especially on Wish, on eBay, as well as on Amazon. Amazon should be okay if you buy from a certified seller, but if it's not, then it's probably a fake and a scam as well. It's obviously the safest to just buy from your regular department store where you live, but if you want to save some money, you can check the links down below. GearBest does sell some SD cards that are real, and they're actually fairly cheap, Samsung and SanDisk SD cards, and they're pretty good. So let me know what you think in the comments down below about these fake SD cards. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.